Good morning, students. In previous class we discussed the topic rain. Where does it come from? So you have to write the project about rain. Where does it come from? No need of writing question and answers. You have to write a project. Second project you have to write about the rain. Where does it come from? So now we are going to start the habitat lesson. Remaining lessons, 3 lessons also for project only. So here first lesson we had learned, second lesson we had learned, and third lesson where does it come from? Rain, where does it come from? This also for project only. Next one, what do animals eat also for project. Next materials and things also for project. So here second project is rain. Where does it come from? Rain. About rain, you have to write second project. Okay, first project I gave to you about COVID-19 Corona. Second project is rain. Where does it come from? Okay, now we are going to start the topic habitat. Remaining lessons no need to learn. These are belongs to project. Government is decided to give as project these chapters, not for teaching. So that's why I am leaving these chapters. That's why I am starting now habitat lesson. I think you have understood clearly. Government is decided to write project of these lessons. Third lesson, fourth lesson and fifth lesson. Now, sixth lesson I am starting, that is nothing but habitat. That is nothing but habitat. Now, we are going to start the topic habitat. Here we have given the story. Uma was swimming in the village pond. Who was swimming in the village pond? Uma was swimming in the village pond with her elder brother. She enjoyed swimming there as she saw several things in the pond. She saw several things in the pond, different from what she could see around her house. So the several things which are present in the pond are not there nearby her house. That means she saw different types of plants, different types of animals she saw in the pond. But she can't see that type of plants and that type of animals nearby her house. Her brother would show her eggs of all sorts of creatures. Her brother showed her different animals' eggs. Different animals' eggs he showed her. Next, right below the lotus leaf was the snail's egg. Below the right of the lotus leaf there was snail's eggs. Next, within leafy bushes at the side of the pond were eggs of fish. Eggs of fishes were also there. Next, fish and so much more. There were several organisms vary from very small to quite large ones like the fish that grandpa was rearing. So there they were watching different types of animals, different types of eggs. Human beings would often hold their breath. Human beings also often hold their breath underwater for such explorations. But we would gasp for breath just after a short time and come out of the surface. Come to the surface. So here what she want to see, what she want to say. Human beings when they swim in pond, at that time they close their nose and they swim. And at the time of coming outside they breathe. When they come outside of the water they breathe. When they come to the surface of water pond they breathe in. Okay, breathe in and breathe out. Uma often wondered how the organisms underwater could live there easily while it was so difficult for her to breathe. So she was wondered that other organisms, other animals which are present in the water doubt. She got the doubt. Do all organisms have different needs which are fulfilled by their surroundings? So do all organisms have different needs? Yes, organisms have different needs. Organism means what? Living thing. Organism means what? Living thing. So here different organisms have different body parts to do several functions. Here fish has the fins to move and fish has gills to breathe, and a frog tadpole has also gills to breathe, and to move the frogs can move in the water and swim in the water and move on land with the legs. So they are the what? They are the amphibians. They move on land and they swim in water. Next, reptiles. Some snakes move in water. Some other animals just like crocodile, reptile move in water and on land. So they also move in water and on land. So they have special features, special organs to breathe, to do their functions. Okay, we see organisms living everywhere around us. We see them living on the ground or under the pond, in the water or on its surface, etc. Let us explore all the places where organisms live. Let us see this now. Note, visit the pond or lake in the presence of a teacher or parents only. So with your parents, once you go near a pond and see the pond and there you see some creatures, some plants and some animals you enjoy, and I want to say one thing to you. Go for a picnic to nearby a pond and once you see the organisms present in pond and how they move, how they breathe and how they eat also. Once you spend your time, one day you spend your time for a picnic, you go and you see once, then you will get the idea how animals move in water and how they eat and how they grow also. You can understand, they can also help you. Your parents also help you. Once ask your parents to take a picnic to a pond. Next, activity 1. Who lives where? Activity 1. Who lives where? Here is a list of some organisms and human beings: elephant, lotus, whale, spider, oyster, fish, rabbit, bee, sparrow, dung beetle, earthworm, coromino, murrel, squirrel, rat, crab, snail, bat, pistia, water hyacinth, monkey, prawn. Prawn means royalu. Next, tiger prawn. You may add the names of even more animals and plants that you see around you or remove those from the given list which are unfamiliar to you. So here what you know, the animals that you add here, what you do not know, that you can remove from this list. Where is each organism found most often? Table 1, write the names of the organisms in the appropriate box. So here it is given one table, that table you have to fulfill. So under the ground, on the ground, in water or on water, some other place. So this table is given, you have to fill the table by using that names what I read now. So otherwise you can add some other animals names also. According to where they can be found, you could put the name of one organism in more than one column. If you put the organism in the column some other place, try to mention the place where you could find it. So try to mention the place. If you wrote one name, if you write one name, so that name where you got, that animal, that organism where you got, either in the pond or in water or in on the land or in the ground. So like that you have to write. Or in the sky, that means bird, so that you have to write. Next, in which column will you put a frog? In which column will you put a frog? So frog can live in water and on land. So that's why we can say that is what? That is an amphibian. That is an amphibian. Next, it can live in water and on land. So when it is in water, it breathes through skin. When it is on the land, it breathes through lungs. But the tadpole of the frog breathes through gills. Tadpole of the frog breathes through gills. But frog breathes through lungs when it is on the land. But frog breathes through skin when it is in water. Understood? So next, we have seen the different organisms live in different places, but many of them live in the same place. Living organisms have different needs. They usually stay in the places where most of their needs are met. That is, they get sufficient food, shelter and other conditions necessary for life. See, some animals live only on land, some animals live in water, some animals live on tree. So why they are living in such places? Because of they are getting different their food, their shelter and their needs they are satisfying by staying there. That means they are getting sufficient nutrients, sufficient shelter, sufficient shelter and water their needs they are getting. So that's why they are staying in that places. All organisms depend on their surroundings for their needs like food, water, air and shelter. The surroundings which meets the needs of a particular organism in the best manner is the habitat. So what is a habitat? A habitat provides the organism sufficient food, water and shelter is called a habitat. Understood? What is a habitat? Habitat provides to the organism sufficient shelter, sufficient food, water, air and everything for surviving. Okay, so some examples are filled in that help to you. Copy the table 1 in your notebook. Try to enlist the list as much as you can. How many organisms are present in more than one column? So this column you have to fulfill. Why do you place them there? Why do you place them there? Some are water animals, some are land animals, terrestrial animals. So that you have to write. Pond is the habitat of royaloo or the fresh water prawn. So pond is the habitat for fishes and it is the habitat for what? Royaloo means prawns. Next, can you say that what is the habitat for crow? Tree is the habitat for the crow. A crow makes its nest on the tree. So, tree is a habitat for the crow. We often find some insects on the skin of buffalo. So, the buffalo skin is the habitat for the insect. Next, so buffalo skin is the habitat for that insect. With such a lot of different types of organisms, it is difficult to find areas with just one type of plant or animal. It is also difficult to study the needs of each organism separately. We can't say each organism's needs. We can't say that one. According to the habitat, they will get sufficient things what they need. Now let's see what are the different habitats around us. So here we find animals living on trees, in our houses, in different areas, in the pond, in a small pool of water after rains and several other places. As the area increases, the type of number of organisms living there usually increase. See, if it rains at that time, the organisms which live in water may increase. See, in rainy season you can see so much insects, but you can't see in summer season that much of insects. Because of water, they grow more. In winter season also you observe some insects, but in summer season you can't observe that much insects. So you can understand by this, some organisms may live in water. When there is moist in the weather, they grow and they increase their life. Next, you would find more types of organisms living in your house than your hair. So and more in the pond than your house. So So you can see some organisms living in your house. Example here: lizards, mosquitoes, houseflies, ants. Next some may grow buffaloes and dogs, cats. Okay, and human beings, you. Next some other organisms, some other insects you can see. So we can say so many organisms are there in a house, but much more organisms than in your house we can see nearby a grassland or nearby a field or nearby a pond. You will observe different types of organisms are present. When you observe that, if you compare with your home, you can observe different types of organisms in nearby field, in nearby park, nearby pond. If you observe different organisms are present. You would find more types of organisms living in your house than your home, and more in pond than your house, more in lake than your pond, and so on. These larger areas are suitable for supporting the life of more organisms. Now let us study some habitats are closely. So if we go to any, if you observe at your home, in your house, you can observe different types of organisms. If you observe nearby the field, you can observe some frogs, some rats, some other birds, some other insects, some mosquitoes, some lizards, some chameleons, different organisms you may observe. Understood? If you observe the pond, if you can observe different types of organisms, snail, fish, and crabs. Next, sometimes you can observe tortoise. Sometimes you can observe different types of fishes. So, like this, you plants, you can different types of organisms you observe, different types of plants also. Understood? This is the difference. Understood, students? So, in next video, we will learn about pond as a habitat.